Hi everybody, I am AV Obsessed, and if you're watching this video on my channel, that means that you probably are too. And for now, it's just an unboxing of the McIntosh C49 preamp. I ordered this at the same time as I ordered the McIntosh MC462 because I wanted to have basically a complete system from McIntosh as my front end, and I just didn't pick it up right away because I wanted to pay down my Best Buy card a little bit before I put some more stuff on it. But now I'm gonna be able to set this thing up with home theater bypass from the AV receiver, and then also hook the Bluesound node directly up to it. So when we open it up, ooh, is it? Yeah, it's fully double boxed, like apparently all the McIntosh stuff is. Fortunately, this is not nearly as heavy as the amplifier was. Yeah. So let's get these foam corners off. Okay, this box kind of seems weird the way it's put together. I don't know what the best way to open it is gonna be. I think I cut here and here, and then, yeah. I'm doing the thing you're never supposed to do, cutting towards myself. But the knife's not that sharp, so I'm not too worried about it. I should have been worried about that though. So, the preamp was trying to come out of its box on its own. So let's fold this guy open. Oh my gosh, this is so much cardboard. Okay. Let's start with the remote. I don't think I've ever seen what kind of a remote McIntosh includes with their stuff, so. It feels pretty light. It doesn't feel like one of those ultra heavy duty, like high-end. Oh, it feels pretty premium though. Got a nice like glossy metal edge all the way around it, which is pretty cool, but then it's plastic on the front and the back, and nice feeling clicky buttons. I like this remote. That is a pretty good quality feeling, but not like insane, like ultra high-end feeling remote. Standard C13 power cord that I won't be using. And I feel like that's it for accessories in there. So, oh yeah, manual sitting right on top. I never open these. I always just look up the PDF versions online. Okay. Let's get this aside. All right. So, the unit itself. Oh, okay, it's closed on this side here. Okay. So there's the front of the unit with the volume and power and input selector. All glass front, there's a little screen in there. Unfortunately, this is not the like higher end preamp that they make that has VU meters on the front of the preamp as well, although I don't think that's necessary to have preamp VU meters and amp VU meters, but you know. We've got a bunch of digital inputs right here, analog inputs, and XLR analog ins and outs. Yeah, I mean, it's a preamp. It's nothing too crazy. I probably will get this thing in my system today and then work on a full video later. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. So as you can see, this video is not just an unboxing because I have it all set up now. You might notice that the door is missing for my salamander stand. And that is because, not because it doesn't fit or anything like that, this stuff actually fits in there perfectly, but for some reason when the door is closed, the IR signal from the remote doesn't seem to be able to hit the preamp. So I have to leave the door off. I am going to try picking up an IR extender and basically put in that here where the underneath the TV, like on my vertical posts attached to the salamander stand. And then I could probably put the doors back on because I just like the clean look of the front of the salamander stand with the doors on. But yeah, with the doors closed, you can't get an IR signal through this glass apparently, which is weird because it works fine with the Marantz receiver and the Panasonic Blu-ray player that I have over there. Those IR signals get through, so I don't know if this is a particularly weak IR remote or what the deal is there. Other than that, that's my only real complaint. I am super thrilled with the sound. Right now, the way I have it set up is I have the Blue Sound icon sitting in the slot behind me on top of, or above the Marantz Cinema 30 AVR and connected with an optical cable into the DAC on the C49 here. And the DAC in this thing sounds significantly better, in my opinion, than what's built into the Node icon, which is kind of surprising because like the Node icon supposed to be a pretty high-end DAC setup with the dual ESS Saber 9039Q2M setup in mono mode, but the like proprietary R2R DAC that they're using in the McIntosh, it seems like it's a little bit cleaner and clearer sounding, and again, like vocalists just stand out more in comparison to the rest of the instruments in the soundstage. And then the other thing that I'm absolutely thrilled about, because even though I looked at the manual before I bought it to make sure that it says that it would do exactly what I thought it was gonna, what I want it to do, is the home theater bypass. And I was still like, even though I read the manual, I was still slightly worried that it wasn't gonna work the way that I wanted it to. But it works flawlessly. So basically, this preamp, if I have the RCA outs for the left and right channel coming out of the Cinema 30, going into the unbalanced 1 input on the back of the C49, and then a 12-volt trigger cable going from trigger 1 out on the Marantz into, there's a specific one on the back of the C49 that just says pass-through. And when you hook those basically 3 cables up, you know, left and right RCA and trigger, and then you hold down the input select knob here, and you just go to setup, pass through, and then you turn the volume knob until you get to the analog audio input that you're going to use for your home theater bypass, and that's it. Like, it's done. And so it works so flawlessly that I can even demonstrate it. So I was listening to music, so right now it's on the optical 1 input because that's where the Node icon is connected to. But if I turn this off, so that, you know, I hit that button that turns off the amp, and it also turns off my subwoofer because I have the subwoofer connected to output 2 on the C49, and then using the SVS app, I set up the crossover and the levels until it blended properly with my speakers. But yeah, so that turns off the preamp, the amplifier, and the SVS subwoofer. But if I grab the TV remote here and turn on the TV, it basically just pushing the power button for the TV is going to turn on the TV. That's going to tell the Marantz to turn on using the HDMI ARC signal. And then the 12-volt trigger cable from that is going to tell the C49, the MC462, and the SVS SB4000 to all come on. All just like a cascading effect of triggers. It's so satisfying. So here, turn on the TV, and then the TV is going to boot up, and that's going to send the HDMI ARC signal from the TV to the Marantz. Once the Marantz boots up, it sends an a 12 volt trigger signal to the C49, and that sends this 12 volt trigger signal to the MC462 and the SVS SP4000. So everything just turns on as soon as you turn on the TV, and that 12 volt trigger signal that comes from the Marantz and goes into the C49 tells the C49, hey, we're gonna do home theater bypass, so unbalanced one input and don't touch the volume. And now it just, I mean, you can hear the beeps and boops of the Google TV OS, but I'll start up a TV show just for a second. Hopefully not long enough for them to decide to copyright strike me, just to show how well that works. Hulu plus live TV. So yeah, full on home theater and 2-channel system, all integrated together, like fully seamlessly. It works exactly as I was hoping it would. I'm like super excited about this because it's the best of both worlds. If I want to listen to music, all I do is turn on the C49 and it's gonna automatically, this is another thing that is super, super satisfying for me. If I turn off the TV, unfortunately they just started mowing lawn outside, so that's gonna be a little annoying probably, but I turn off the TV, everything shuts off. So everything is in like, you know, off/standby mode right now. But if I turn on the C49 here, so it's gonna start back up in optical 1 mode. So if I were to start up some music, it's going to just be playing music. So I don't even have to ever change the inputs manually on the C49. The only thing that I have to do is basically power and volume with either the knobs and buttons on here or the remote. I guess there is one other like minor complaint that I have. I was hoping that using a USB cable going from the Node icon into the C49, I was hoping that that would be the best way to connect the two, and then I just use the USB audio input on the C49. And the way I hoped it would work was that the volume control on the Bluesound app, I expected it to be able to control the volume control on the C49, and then technically I could probably just leave the door on my salamander stand here. But unfortunately, for some reason, the USB audio input on here just isn't very good. Like, for one thing, it's extremely volume limited. So when I have it connected with the USB cable, I can turn this up all the way and it's still at what I would consider a moderate listening volume, which would be a disaster. Like if someone had this preamp and amplifier and they were using the USB audio for streaming and then like had a CD player connected to another input, and you max out the volume when you're listening to streaming audio, but then you start a CD and you still have it at max volume, you're gonna blow up your speakers. So that was a little strange. I don't know whether that's the McIntosh's fault or the USB implementation on the Bluesound Node icon, but that unfortunately didn't work the way that I was hoping it would. And then the other thing that's kind of weird, and it's another thing I don't know what the issue is. I already have an IR extender that I tried on this and it doesn't work. So that's also kind of strange and the reason I have it is because every single LG TV, at least that I've ever seen, they include the IR extender in the box, even though I'm sure like way fewer than 1% of the people who buy LG TVs actually use that IR extender. But when I realized I was gonna need an IR extender if I wanna have the door on here, I dug out the one that was in the box for my 42-inch LG C2 that I use as a computer monitor, and it just doesn't work. So that's super strange. Maybe there's something weird about the one that LG includes in the box and it only works on their TVs. So I'm gonna try to buy like a standard one and see if that works. I'm hoping it does, because even though this does look pretty cool like this with the exposed McIntosh gear, I do think it looks better with the door on and the nice clean front of the salamander stand. But all in all, I'm pretty satisfied, especially with the sound quality and how seamlessly the home theater bypass integration works. So yeah, I don't need to do like much more like review of the C49 and the McIntosh stuff, because everybody knows that McIntosh stuff is like top tier quality. Pretty excited about having such a high-end 2-channel system now, because I legitimately think that with this front end, I could pretty much power any speaker on the market, like up to some massive towers that are like nearly $100,000 per pair. Like I'm pretty confident that I would have no issue. Like this would be, I wouldn't be buying a speaker that could outclass what I have powering them for a very long time. And also there's like probably no reason that I would ever need to upgrade this stuff for years and years and years and years. Like I might have this stuff for, you know, 20, 25 years, maybe even until the day I die, who knows. But yeah, so that is it for this one. If you guys like my content, then make sure you like and subscribe. And if you guys are like excited to see the coverage of the show, and the show being the acronym for Total Hi-Fi Experience, that I'm going to be attending this weekend and trying to make as many videos from the show as possible, then definitely make sure that you subscribe and ring the bell notification button. And then you guys will see hopefully a ton of videos coming out within the next couple of weeks from the show, like showing off some of the like highest end hi-fi brands in the world and just some of the coolest gear that I can find. So super excited for that. I hope that you guys are too. And if you're in the Southern California area, you should consider attending. It's not, I think the tickets are $25 per person for 1-day passes. Like that's pretty affordable for what you get to see at this show. You get to see so many different things, and you get to actually talk to, you know, fairly high up people within these different companies. So it's, if you're in the Southern California area and you're into hi-fi, it is definitely worth going to the show. Look it up. It's this coming weekend, June 6th, 7th, and 8th, 2025 at the Costa Mesa Hilton in Orange County, California. If you guys need more information on that, look at, I think it was not my last video, but the video before that where I talked about it and even showed some of the footage and pictures that I got from last year's show. So yeah, if you're in the area, I recommend, if you have the time, that you make your way to the show, and I will see you there.